Another video outside today because it's so nice out. Had some rain earlier, but now got the sun out. So, yeah, just out here chilling. Today's a little bit of a different video today because I want to talk about something a little bit off topic. Not really, but kind of sort of, but also related to cameras, camera gears, YouTubers, reviewers, testers, etc. But first, let me just start off by saying Happy Memorial Day if you're in the United States and you're celebrating it, which you should be, because you want to always be grateful for the service that others provide for your safety and your way of living. So, Happy Memorial Day to everyone, including and especially the veterans and the active duty military in this country. So, there's been a lot of stuff going around on YouTube on whether or not you can trust YouTubers, trust camera reviewers, stuff like that, etc. Let me get comfortable here. And basically, I just wanted to chime in and give my 2 cents on it. Buddy of mine, Sean B., also known as Brooks Media with two S's, did a video about it and the topic, and then also got into a little bit of a match with some, I guess, well-known YouTubers about their gear and stuff like that. So I just wanted to chime in, not necessarily because of his video, but just because a lot of people are talking about it and I have a different perspective when it comes to that. So here's the thing about YouTube. If you don't do YouTube and you're not in the camera gear, lighting, lenses, space like that, and or if you don't actually do it for a living, there's totally two different sides to the spectrum, right? So most of my high frequency stuff that I do right now is weddings, doing, filmmaking for weddings. And while I want to do some different projects, passion projects, short films, I would love to be doing nothing but that and or documentary narrative style work. The wedding stuff pays the bills right now. So that's what I'm doing. So I actually use the gear in real world use and experience. And I do still do commercial work and work for small businesses and stuff like that. But like I said, the higher frequency stuff is the weddings. So essentially, the whole debate that's going on right now is, should you trust camera reviewers on YouTube? Should you trust their opinion? Should you trust them, saying that you should buy this camera or not buy this camera, especially when they switch brands, it seems like every quarter or every 6 months at least. Not going to mention any names, but I've seen people go from within the past year and a half, Sony, and then Red, and then Nikon, and then Lumix. I was a Sony user for 3 years, and I absolutely loved my Sony A7 IV. Before that, I had the A7 III, and I had the FX30. Great cameras. And I decided to switch to Lumix, not because Lumix offered me anything, because they don't even watch my stuff, to be honest with you, even though I try to pump out some Lumix content, and I have a lot more coming out. They don't even watch it. They don't even recognize it, whatever. They decide to go with bigger influencers, if you will, I guess, or content creators. Long story short, I decided to switch to Panasonic on my own just because I noticed the value and the bang for the buck over what Sony was offering or what I had in those price ranges. Like, if you've watched any of my videos before, I bought an S5 II, two of them, for $1,400. Tell me a Sony that you can buy for that has the features that the S5 II has. I'm not getting into all of that. What I'm going to get into is that I bought it because of my own due diligence, my own research, not because someone told me to buy a camera or told me not to buy a camera. And I think you got to take YouTube and camera reviewers with a grain of salt, right? Because obviously sometimes they're pushing the agenda for that particular camera company because they're in good graces or they're in a good light with that camera company. They've been gifted cameras and lenses and all this other stuff. So naturally, they probably think they owe it to them regardless of how the camera performs. But I also want you to notice this and realize this. Most of the time when these guys get these cameras to review, they only have them for like 2 weeks to a month. That's it. They don't have enough real world experience to say whether or not you should have this camera or buy this camera. And I don't either. Like, I've literally had the S5 II for like 3 months, and I'm not telling anyone to go out and buy it. I do have a video saying it's the best value, but that's my opinion, right? So if you take my opinion on the S5 II or any lenses or any lighting or anything like that you may see on the channel, it's because it's my opinion. And I'm the same way. When companies send me these products to review, I get a lot of stuff. You know, I've worked with Nanlite and DZO Film and iFootage and Atomos. I typically only have like 2 weeks to a month to produce content. And I usually like to preface my videos with saying, hey, I've only used this for a couple of weeks. I've only had it for a month. So you get an inkling with common sense, which everyone has, that, oh, well, he hasn't had it this long, but this is his experience based upon how long he's had it and how he has shown us he has used it. So can you trust YouTube reviewers? I mean, come on, guys. Everyone has common sense. No one is taking your wallet out of your pocket and saying you have to spend this money on this camera or this brand. Make the decision for yourself. If you're buying something so expensive, I know you have more than common sense to decide on your own and not like let a YouTuber influence your buying decision. Now, I do think it's suspect and sketch when a YouTuber gets a new camera, especially if they've never even shown that camera before or worked with that camera, and like, this is the best camera out there. This is my dream camera. This is my only camera that I ever want. And there's no buts behind it. Then obviously there's an issue. It's a lot of fluff and it's a lot of schmoozing for that brand. Most cameras these days are pretty damn good. I mean, like, there's hard to find problems with these cameras that are out these days because they're all so good, right? Especially when you get up into the higher tier stuff, you know, higher end of hybrid mirrorless cameras, you know, even the entry level cinema cameras, they're all good. And the prices are constantly coming down, so it makes it more affordable and accessible for someone who wants to get into film production or video production or whatever the case may be. My whole thing about it is, do your research. Don't just take one YouTuber's advice or recommendation for buying a camera. Watch several videos about that camera. Go play with the camera. Hell, go rent the camera. And that way you have it for a weekend and do whatever you're going to do with it and then make your decision. But as far as YouTubers being able to be trusted, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on that particular person. I don't lump everyone into a certain situation. But I tell you one thing that I do not like and I cannot stand from a character standpoint is when you get a camera every other quarter and it's the best camera from that particular manufacturer. And then you change 3-4 months later, and then you change 3-4 months later, and you keep saying the same stuff over and over and over. It's hard to believe you when you're constantly switching brands saying this is the best camera you've ever had. I mean, come on, it just makes sense, right? So why do that? I guess for the benefit of being able to work with those brands, but I don't want to work with a brand where I constantly have to schmooze them or move on to another brand every other quarter or every 6 months or every year for that matter. I just want to get the gear and I want to use it. And that's the same with me with lighting, lenses, any sort of accessories that I may review or get on the channel. I'm going to tell you that I've only had it for such and such time. Typically my videos are not review videos. They're really overview videos because I haven't had the stuff that long. So I'm not trying to build a case for me and the stuff that I review. Honestly, I'm tired of reviewing stuff. I would rather show you guys more of the behind the scenes. Again, doing a lot of stuff to pay the bills, like weddings and small jobs here and there. But I would love to show you some behind the scenes of some productions that I'm starting on, working on, and trying to get done. But obviously, you have to make a living. You have to make a livelihood. So tired of doing reviews, to be honest. And it is what it is. But, you know, do your due diligence, guys. Do your own research. Figure it out on your own. Not because somebody told you to or because this YouTuber is relevant or big or even small. It doesn't matter. Like, make your own decision. And you know what you're doing. You're the one spending the money. And if you made that money and you were smart enough to get that money, which I know you are, then you're smart enough to make your own camera decisions. Point blank, period. You know, just take it as is. And, you know, also, one thing I wanted to touch on is a lot of folks say, oh, you know, every review video seems like an ad, you know. Well, guys, like if you're looking at YouTube, there's no way you can tell me that you're not looking at a YouTuber and like at some point in period of time it's crossed your mind like, damn, I would love to do that for a living. I would love to do that full time. I would love to be a YouTuber. Guys, we're doing the best that we can on here and trying to make a living at the same time while providing value in these videos to you. Sometimes they may seem like ads. Sometimes there are going to be things that are hard to find about a product that's bad. Because most of the time, products that I take on, at least, I already know are good, and that's why I'm going to take them on and review them. But sometimes it may seem a little salesy, it may seem a little, ad like, because we do like the product. We actually use the product. Everything on my channel that I've reviewed, I use on a weekly or monthly basis. So it's not like a one and done type of situation. And when you're trying to be creative and you are trying to possibly have this as your passion, having a YouTube channel and stuff like that, you're doing the best you can. And that includes editing, quality of the video, trying to put products out there that you think people will like because you like them, and not trying to be criticized in the meantime. We're all trying to make a living here, whether that's on YouTube and outside of YouTube, or just trying to build towards doing it on YouTube. So, give us a little slack sometimes, because it's not always about ads. Unless someone's just shoving it in your face like crazy 80 commercial days, buy, 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 the sale's going off and blah, blah, blah. Then you can kind of have that, perception of it. But other than that, that's all I really want to talk about. Just a little rant. It's pretty outside. I decided to come out and just film this video. So I hope you understood my perspective. I hope you gained something from it. And again, just make your own decisions, because that's all that matters at the end of the day, is the money that you're spending out of your wallet. All right. So, yeah, until next time, guys, be safe, be kind, take care of each other. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you so much, veterans and active duty military. You are appreciated more than you know. And everyone have a great day. See ya.